Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you America's top foundational health coach, Dr. Joe D.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Jody Bear, and it is MindSet Monday today. I'm so glad you joined us. It's hot outside, and we need summer help, but we need a summer mindset all the time. For those of you that are just joining us for the first time, I'm Dr. Jody Bear, known as America's top foundational health coach and holistic nutritionist in my former practice before I unretired. I have the honor of bringing 35,000 client patients through 1.1 million pounds total lost. And you know what the good news is? The next pounds can be yours. But then when I unretired, said, I need to do this virtually because I felt like I had some undone business. That's what my mindset told me. I'm honored to say over 3,000 clients have come by my way virtually. One of the beautiful ladies that you're going to hear from today was one of those virtual people I wouldn't have met when I had a brick and mortar practice that was click and order or click and nutraceutical, of course. Now doing global, doing virtual, doing just by referral basis. This beautiful soul came into my life because the next pounds, I've already said, but the next health can be yours by referral, thanks to Dan Gilman, who's also on Traverse TV. Dan, thank you for your loving heart and your love and intuition to bring us together. Sometimes health isn't just in weight loss. Sometimes it's not just in that inflammation always, though. And this was the case. We got into health matters. We got into the foundations of health. Then, as we said, the next thing you know, I'm going ahead and doing a referral to none other, my partner now in Healthopedia, Dr. James Marinakis. It's just amazing where that road will travel. And of course, with our background today, thanks to the CEO of Traverse TV. Thank you, Tom Chesser, for our new background. You'd have to be under a rock not to know that the essence of a woman is coming out in exactly 1 month and 5 days. You can get your pre-order copy now just by going to the essenceofawomanbook.com. Why is that important? Because the majority of our proceeds now in pre-sales are going to these two fine charities. As you know, Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali has Mama Ali Today, her foundation that globally feeds the hungry and homeless, but we earmarked it to Florida. There are more underserved children in the city of Miami per capita than any city in the United States. Since I live in Florida, that made sense. So that's what we're going to do. And also, the proceeds go to a non-for-profit called Illuminate. It's illuminatezeta.org. Thanks to Christina Doty. It's the East Coast. They have more human trafficking. What I want to say is combating this. And if you don't think that human trafficking is out there, you really are under another rock. It's an issue. We must address this. This is why this book, our book, The Essence of a Woman, Unleash the Feminine Soul. It's really the power of the universe, of what we can do together. It's the power of the universe that you can go ahead and say, I am going to make a difference. So I'm going to put this up on the screen right now. It's the essenceofawomanbook.com. Go there. You'll get an autographed copy signed by me or one of the other authors that are getting these books. And guess what? Get that autograph. One day, our autographs might be worth just something like Oprah. What do you think? It may be famous because we're having fame and just wonderfulness around us. Now, I want you to go to a couple of things here before we take our commercial break. And I bring my wonderful friend and I'm going to say now colleague, and it feels so good to say, yes, fellow author in our book, Gloria Kurz up. I will say, go to Instagram, Healthopedia 365. You will get everything about what we're doing here. Go ahead and get your book, The Essence of a Woman book, and go to YouTube right now. Like, subscribe, and share. I just started the YouTube business. We're almost to 200 shares. Want to get us to 1,000 by the time we do our virtual summit. It will be on YouTube Live. It will also be here on Traverse TV after our launch, which, like I said, our launch is August 29th. August 29th this year, very, very soon, the book launch. Then we'll go in after Labor Day, September 3rd, 4th. We're skipping Yom Kippur for our Jewish friends because it's a holiday. And then going into the 6th, it will be noon Eastern every single day on Traverse TV. We're going to broadcast to 192 countries around the world this message of health, healing, and hope. The Essence of a Woman is a book about women, for women, from women, notable A-listers. As you can see the list: actress, comedian, Grammy nominee, and the star of Girls Trip, Tiffany Haddish, Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali, Muhammad Ali's life. She has been on this stage 2 different times with Traverse on Life's Milkshake Moments and Mindset Monday. Former wife of Muhammad Ali and married him at the end of her life. We're featuring her book as we do Undefeated, my story of faith and forgiveness. And she will be our anchor author in the spiritual pillar. Tiffany is in the social pillar. Here she came up through, goodness gracious, being a foster child. And unknowingly, when her mother had this accident in a car, it affected her psyche and she was physically abused. So she raised herself up from a foster care home in Central South LA. It doesn't sound real good, but here she is. That is an empowering story. And of course, Princess Maradian Okolana, the UN ambassador from Nigeria, with her beautiful, beautiful organization, African Women's Health Potential and Project International, of which I am a part of this. We're taking it to the UN. You'll see us there in the middle of the month, delivering our first pre-sale books to the UN, August 12th and 3rd. You see, we create this, like Dr. Jim said the other day, this is like the lottery. The lottery is like social marketing. Everybody takes a piece apart, and then everybody gets a benefit. This is a health lottery. $30 book plus shipping and handling. Everybody has that money. What if that money and a woman reads that story? It could change a life. It could change really a business. It may change a soul. That's what we believe, that we have the essence of a woman. 11 countries are represented. Princess Maradian just started it in Nigeria. I'm thinking, here I live in Howie in the Hills. Who knew that would we get that far with this book? Who knew that this beautiful woman, Gloria Kurz, would be in my life, along with one of our sponsors here, that we're going to forward this. And then we will be back after we have our break with Roper's Health Oasis. Let me tell you something about Shannon. She is a board-certified nurse practitioner. She trains healers to do what she does, a healer outside the box, outside of Carlsbad, New Mexico. She will be writing in the spiritual pillar this time, and she's been now in Healthopedia and here. You will not want to miss this. And she's kind of like the flyover when you're going to California. Get some real health and check out what Shannon Roper has to say about health. Roper's Health Oasis.
Shannon Roper, board-certified family nurse practitioner, CEO, and founder of Roper's Health Oasis, located in beautiful Carlsbad, New Mexico. Shannon took her vision of true holistic healthcare to promote wellness instead of illness and show you how you can live between office visits, as Dr. Bernie Siegel says. She has your best interest as a priority and incorporates the 6 pillars of health into each day. Join Shannon along with the other 39 authors as she elevates Healthopedia and creates a real health oasis for you and your life.
And Shannon now has incorporated with a couple of associates that she does telehealth as well. So you can call in to her office in New Mexico and figure out what health and healing is like outside the box. Roper's Health Oasis. But outside the box is Gloria Kurz, my next guest. Rarely has it happened in my 45 years. See, my nose starts itching when I just talk about that, just that intuition and just that love that I felt the first time I was on the phone. I want to say once again, thank you, Dan. Not only was it just a wonderful connection right away, but there was an energetic feel. Helping somebody and supporting them to their next level of health is what I do. Little did I know that I would find, I just feel like she's my twin sister, or maybe another sister from a different mister. But this is what we've got here. We've got this connection. Like I said before, she ended up being referred, she and Rick then, and we had an expansive situation and weekend of healing and health with Dr. Jim Marinakis. Then she was there and showed up in Boca. You know those people that come into your life, then you just feel like you just saw them yesterday? That's Gloria Kurz. You can only imagine the story you're going to hear from her. This is the financial pillar of health, because finances start in the mind too. That spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, financial, and social. That's the groundbreaking. When you hear her story, Mansions and Manors is a brand of real estate similar to Sotheby's and Christie's, up to that level. Boutique, absolutely service-driven. When I get her magazine once a quarter, I go, ooh, fabulous. I know this woman. Now you're going to know her too. Gloria Kurz from Mansions and Manors, founder and principal, and just an extraordinary woman. Welcome, Gloria.
Hey, Jody, thank you so much for having me. And thank you for that from the bottom of my heart. It's Dan, I will be eternally grateful to for introducing us. And the journey has been a really amazing one. And it's actually just getting started.
We have just started to scratch the scratch. You're in your second location in South Carolina. I know you're up in Rhode Island, but all of it started as a little girl whose daddy was in the military back in California. So give us a little bit of that journey to the back and forth that you were used to. Now, I'm in Rhode Island. Oh, I'm in South Carolina. It was in your blood now, wasn't it?
It was. I was raised moving every couple of years because my dad was military. And when I was first born, we were in Germany for 4 years, then California, then Spain, then California. So I laugh. I feel a little bit like a rolling stone. And I actually, if I'm in one place too long, I sort of get nervous. And the joke with my husband is, okay, new husband or a new house or new location. So it has served me well. It has allowed me to be flexible. It has allowed me to understand the dynamic of change. It has allowed me the opportunity culturally to experience other cultures and in a way that normally we don't always have the ability to do in this country. So it was life-changing from the beginning.
And feels like it made sense that global girl ends up being global author. But let's fill in the blanks. I love the story in our book about the first piece of Gloria's capitalism. Tell them about your paper route.
Oh, it was so funny. So we grew up really poor. It's interesting, and I know that there are other authors in the book like this. I mean, to me, it's sort of like a Cinderella story when I look at where I started in life and where I am now. But because money was in such short supply in our household, when I was about 8 years old, my father got a second job in the evenings delivering papers. So my older sister and brother and I sort of got conscripted in to help him with it. And I started selling papers at mess halls at Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. And it was truly my first taste of entrepreneurship. And I earned enough in tips in 3 weeks to get my first grade English lecture. And I was off to the races with that and never looked back.
You saw that money and you figured, okay, I sell something, then I've got something to share. And from the racer piece, I mean, I'm going to just skip to the fact that when you have degrees behind your name, I mean, one of the reasons that I did my desire in this book, Laura, you know that, is that we grew up being contemporaries. That it was, in fact, I quoted Helen Reddy, "I am woman, hear me roar." But you roared in a way in those years and those decades that we didn't have to be men, but you found your skill set. You made and paved a way because you were a woman, and going and getting your law degree and everything else with all of these kids. You had to, and though you were the middle one, and you got to read the story because you got to buy the book because it's for charity. That's just the way it goes here. But the idea, and then come and join us in February. We'll be back in your neck of the woods, Gloria, in California. We've got the date for our next retreat, February 19th to 22nd in Los Angeles. So knowing that, I like to give dates ahead of time, but here you were with all, you didn't have money to go to law school. I mean, that wasn't part of the deal. So how was that paper route just drove you to do this law degree thing? It's pretty fantastic.
Well, the paper route segued into many other jobs, and as we say, it's sort of your life, your milkshake moments, right? You can either define your life, or sometimes people allow life to define them. In my case, I made choices, and every choice I made was a choice that allowed me to move forward and in a lot of different paths, because I was on a journey and I was on a search, and I did not know at the time where that was going to take me. But what eventually happened is I was led to a life of advocacy, and the advocacy took different forms. It started in the nonprofit sector in the county of Orange with federal programming. And then because of some life experiences, I actually worked 40 hours a week and put myself through law school evenings and weekends because I couldn't afford to go to law school full time. I had to work. And then when I got done with that, I figured, why not? And ended up for a short while being a DA in California until I met my husband.
And that's where we're going to pause, because I want them to buy the story. We don't tell them that buy the book, get the story, because that story, you got it, because he was, as I call him, the man. I mean, the man with the car, with the plan, successful. He was the package, and how beautiful that is. But the part of that advocacy, Gloria, because when the war in Ukraine broke out, and I remember we were having our health coaching time, we didn't even talk about yours and Rick's health. You wanted to do something. And that's why I feel like it's such an amazing thing that here we are together in this book. And I want to just, before we bring up our next commercial break here, I just want to say why in all of this, how do you feel like we transition from coach and client? So now you're in our book. How did that happen for you?
It was a really natural progression. And it just amazed me to see everything that you had accomplished. For me, it was very humbling to even think about being in a book. There are just so many extraordinary women whose stories are there. And then I realized that actually I have a story, which is really powerful. And it's the power of the American dream.
Yes.
It is the power of possibilities. It is the power of what passion and perseverance can accomplish in one's life. And I believe we all have that ability.
Yes, pursuing
I happen to be living proof of it.
You are living proof. I want to say pursuing my American dream. You pursued it from the paper route. You pursued it in law school. And we're going to come back and talk about pursuing it in real estate. But I mean, I've just got to say your quote, because you can have purpose. You can have purpose, but you did the two things. It was passion and purpose. That's the power of your dream. How did you come up with that quote?
It's how I live.
That's an easy story.
Easy story.
And see how this woman lives. We're going to feature today anchor author, Princess, Her Royal Highness Dr. Princess, or Princess Doctor, but she is Maradian Ogalana from Nigeria, moved to Canada, lives in Houston, but with her initiative to help the continent of Africa with clean water. Is that an amazing advocacy, Gloria? And I haven't mentioned that much, but then the African Women's Health, that Project International to help women with their health. That's why I know. Buy the book. Why? Because the proceeds are going to go to other things as we expand and do what we call the American dream to the global dream. So let's just take a look at Princess Maradian has just come back from Dubai, and we're going to just take a picture, just a little snippet of her latest tour. It's pretty cool. That's all I've got to say. Here is the princess. Her Royal Highness Princess Dr. Maradian Ogalana. I mean, extraordinary author, change maker, ambassador, philanthropist. That's what we have. Gloria, our book has 7 abortions, 6 divorces, 3 near-death experiences. It has it all. Physical, emotional abuse, but just like our book, Healthopedia, on the heels of our first anniversary with this, there are action steps. There are places that you go through this. And you talk so much about resilience. I'm going to just read your Amelia Earhart quote that you put in your book. You said, the most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. What did that line mean for you as you went tenacity and tenaciousness through the paper route, JD, move several times, get a new house, create this brand, Mansions and Manors, that is a notable brand in Rhode Island, and then say, you just said, why not?
So it is interesting. It's very easy not to do anything.
Yes.
Inertia, right? Inertia is simple. You can sit in place, you can accept things as they are, or you can take charge and you can choose. You can choose your life. You can choose to make a difference. You can choose to act. And sometimes the consequences of those actions aren't always what we expect. I mean, we don't always succeed with what we want to do. There can be failures, there can be detours, but the key is to take action, to move forward, to believe and believe in yourself. I mean, that
Yes.
that is in and of itself probably the most critical thing that I can say. It starts here. It starts with you.
Mhm.
And however you reconcile that, however you define that, that is the beginning. And then you just have to take that first step. It's like learning to walk when you're a baby, right? You don't just get up and do a marathon. You crawl, and then you get up, and you might need a little support when you do it, a wall or whatever. Then you take the first step. And then I was watching a little 20-month-old the other day. She had the cutest darn model you have ever seen. She looked like a little duck, but she was amazing. And, she'll probably be doing marathons soon.
She was just getting her thing. She
Oh,
was
she
doing,
was. She was waddling. She was so cute. And then you take your steps, and then you're on your own, and then you learn to run, and then you go for it.
and then you fall and whatever.
And then
But
you pick yourself up and you start all over again
because this piece, I want to talk about you. Okay. You talk about everybody. I want to talk about you because you, my dear, here you start real estate thinking, oh, I've got to wait until you were talking about this, Teresa. I've got to wait till the time is right. You started real estate and then there was a downturn. Then
oh,
at the downturn, but you made it happen. And ladies and gentlemen, when I said Sotheby's Christie's, I think they could put you on $1 million listing with personally $250 million worth of real estate later. That is something special. Tell us about that first listing or anything about that downturn and you went, oops, now what do I do? That was mindset.
it was a mindset. It was really interesting when I got into the business back in the mid 90s. We had moved from Manhattan. After I practiced law, I got into corporate marketing and then into a startup company, and then we shifted to Connecticut. And my senior partner, actually, at my firm in New York, got me involved with a client of his because he was doing some real estate. And I simultaneously was introduced to someone in the business, offered a job in New Jersey, and there was no way after moving from Manhattan
And
that I
this
was
2
going to.
degrees of separation always works.
Always. I wasn't commuting to New Jersey, so got introduced to a woman who had just been hired to start up this this firm's Greenwich, Connecticut branch. And fast forward, I ended up bringing in $15 million worth of business as my first listing. Just about the time we had the big crash. And I had 5 contracts at the time, all of which disappeared. And you learn to pivot, you learn to be flexible, you learn the lessons.
Yes.
And one of the lessons is it can everything can change on a dime.
And
Business
it can change that resilience.
business, real estate, our lives. Look at you with the accident that you went through in your right. You're driving down the road, and all of a sudden, you're in a hospital.
Yes.
Life, yeah. There's that saying: a man makes plans, or woman makes plans, and God laughs. Um, we just have to understand that we are not always in control, and I am a control freak, which I think we should have in common.
I think you have in common. So in our last couple of minutes, I want to come back to this. I told you that the time was going to fly, Gloria, just because that's what we do. That you think about this. You pivoted on a dime. Here we are. The 15 million went away. $250 million worth of listings and revenues brought into her company. Got that? Okay. And I'm sure you say, oh, it would have been nice to have a $500 million. Sure. But now looking forward to this, as you said, where every ending has a new beginning, what is in store for this mindset now with real estate in your financial health and future?
So I have shifted, and I now have mansions and manors in both the state of South Carolina and the Beaufort area, which is where we have had a home for 15, almost 20 years now. It's amazing how time flies. And so for 15 years, I actually have been going back and forth, pretty much on a 50-50 schedule between my office in Rhode Island and South Carolina. So as we go forward, I am looking to see what can happen with the brand. And in an ideal world, because the brand is so unique, it's also federally registered. It's, instantly recognizable. It's, we're a little boutique with a big name.
And it's an alliteration. And of course it would be registered because you're a lawyer. You've got a law degree.
Of course. And it should be. And it's a brand that can play in any market anywhere in the country. So I am looking to see where that next conversation is going to be. And I'm also looking to see now at this point in my life, the best way for me to start giving back. And that's one of the wonderful things about our connection, because it's something that you do so beautifully and so well. And so many of the people in this book do. And it's time for me to get on that journey.
Oh, I'm so happy. And I want to just share this this is you, Gloria, said, as we had talked about it, pursuing your dreams leads to health, balance, and success financially and having an independent life, not defined by the circumstances of your birth, but created through your growth, patience, and perseverance. That, my dear, was written by you for your intention or for our readers. So what is your last piece of 30 seconds here of your wisdom, which there's much more? Come join us on August 29th for our launch. Come buy the book in pre-sale. It'll be offered on Amazon as a pre-sale starting August 1st. But then our virtual summit here on Traverse TV and YouTube, Healthopedia 365, we will be there. What are we going to do? We're going to do 40 hours of broadcasting starting at noon Eastern. So what is your last piece of wisdom? And then you're going to hear Gloria even during that time.
I would say just believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, understand it is not a straight path. There will be detours. Take them. The road less traveled, and just enjoy the experience and never give up. And by the way, very quickly, one of the things we discovered is we own a house that Clara Barton lived in.
Oh, yes.
When she managed the aftermath of the 1893 hurricane in the state of South Carolina, which to my knowledge is still the single biggest natural disaster that ever hit here. I was amazed when I discovered that at the time she was 72 years old. So it is never too late, never too young, you're never too old. It's your journey, it's your story, it's your life. Make it happen.
Now, spelled backwards is one. So Gloria, thank you for just being a part of my life. First of all, thank you for being a part of this journey as you're paving the way for others to follow. So just remember, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be doing Mindset Monday with Millennial. And it always coughs up because I just get so excited being around Gloria. It just happens. This is what we've got. Laura Barra. She is going to be our Mindset Monday from Mexico, one of our international authors in the financial pillar too. But mindset skill set is everything. Keep your mind strong, keep your bank account clear, because Healthopedia is your way every single day. Ciao for now.